and welcome to Linköping in Sweden and to the third round of the FIA European Drag Racing Championship. Now Linköping is about 2 hours south of Stockholm, but about 10 minutes from where I'm standing now is Mantorp Park Raceway, and we'll be catching up with action from Top Fuel and Pro Stock. But first, let's have a look around the town. And this is it, Mantorp Park Raceway. Now this drag strip forms part of an existing racetrack, which can sometimes present a unique and sometimes dangerous challenge to our drivers.
I'm standing on the finish line here at Mantorp Park. Behind me is the start line. It's downhill, so when they come off the line, the cars are climbing up the hill to pass this point at about 250, 280 miles an hour. As they go over the brow, they've got to pull their parachutes, because over that brow, up this way, look, you can see the tops of the trees. As they go over the top, there's a very, very short runoff. So they haven't got long to actually slow down. And what's worse for those drivers, at the end of that runoff, there is a hairpin bend. They've got to stop their cars, otherwise they'll go into the dirt.
And who'd have thought it? Reigning Pro Stock champion Tommy Liner in the dirt.
Okay, I don't know, I pulled the parachute off that. It didn't come on, and so it didn't stop quickly enough. So I just tried to brake hard, but I decided to go straight because it's dangerous to try to turn with so much speed on. So it's okay, no problem.
Now let's start with Pro Stock, which has been led by Nicholas Anderson. Now do you remember this? The confrontation between him and Tommy Liner on the start line at Alastaro in Finland.
Tommy Liner and Nicholas Anderson, neither driver wanted to stage first. Both of them called out of the car by the chief starter, and he explained the law to them. Well, let's get to the action. This is the first race in round one of Pro Stock action. Jakob Ferrer and Lena Nystrom, the numbers 4 and 5 qualifiers. Well, I'm joined here in the commentary position by Russ. This is a change for you, my man, to have a view.
It certainly is, Graham, and it's even more interesting because I remember this girl, Lena Nystrom, having that horrendous crash at Santapod, which wrote off her 1998 car. This is obviously last year's car for Lena.
Well, you're dead right. The Firebird of Jakob Ferrer. Always a bit of a dark horse for me. Jakob. Lena waving very confident. She qualified at number 5. Jakob at 4. Here we go, moving up to the line. Ferrer is first in stage. Nystrom makes him wait. And gets the advantage away from the start line. The young lady out ahead in this race. Can Ferrer catch up? No is the answer. Nystrom take... Well, look at this. Oh, Ferrer goes over in the car.
It looks like he's taken out Lena again, which is horrendous.
Well, that would be the end of her racing years. Surely we'll have to wait on news of what's happened at the top end. Well, seems like there's no wreckage from the Nystrom car there. So hopefully all well with her. She'll be into the next round. This our next race. Kjetil Hauger and the reigning Pro Stock champion, Tommy Liner,
who seems to have dyed his hair like Jacques Villeneuve. Well, it's not purple, it's blonde, so he's 1 year behind, I think.
Well, they say blondes have more fun, Russ. Maybe that's the way he's looking at it. He's got a hard man to get round in Kjetil Hauger, who's the number 7 qualifier here this weekend.
And of course, Tommy is the king of the psychology on the start line, Graham. He's the one man I probably wouldn't want to be up against at the quarter-final stage.
Well, having said that, he won't want a repeat of the action with Nicholas Anderson from Alastaro. Here we go. The tension mounts. It is Hauger into pre-stage, followed by Tommy Liner. Who's going to stage first? Or are we going to have fun and games? No, Hauger into stage. Tommy Liner into stage. Well, it looked to be Hauger with the advantage, then everything going pear-shaped for him away from the line. Tommy Liner takes the win.
We are satisfied, we won, that's all.
Well, Russ, this is really warming up now. Here's the man who was the winner at Mantorp, Nicholas Anderson, and he's got a hard match here, Jari Connolly.
Well, Graham, certainly on past form, you'd expect Nicholas Anderson to win this race. But some quick news. Fortunately, Lina Nystrom was not hit in that accident, and Jakob Ferrer has been taken off to hospital. But he has got a message through to us to say that he expects to make it to Hockenheim.
Well, that's good news. At least we'll be seeing Lina out in the next round of elimination. Well, here we go. This our third race of Pro Stock eliminations. Going to be a tough one, this. Nicholas Anderson, the young man, Jari Connolly. Well, he's an old stager when it comes to the Pro Stock wars. Who's going to be first in stage? Identical in pre-stage. And it's Jari Connolly into stage, followed by Anderson. Here we go, the race is on. Well, looks to be Jari Connolly away first by a mile. Leaves Anderson trailing. Can the Firebird make it up? No! Well, Jari Connolly, he takes the win.
How was the run?
I have no idea how the run was, but I know we won. We didn't go that fast though, but now we have something to go on.
Well, that was certainly one of the big upsets there, Graham. With Nicholas out, that's certainly going to close his championship point leads down, whatever happens today.
Well, one or two long faces on the start line there. That was a big upset, as you said. Okay, Paul, Tammy Brander, and he's racing the #1 qualifier here this weekend, Mike Malmgren. Well, Michael's had a terrible year so far. He's not had the consistency leaving the start line he would like, and I don't think the car's been performing as well as he needs either. Hopefully this weekend's going to be a turning point. Krista, the crew chief, the man on the start line. All over to the drivers now. Malmgren rolling forward, and he in fact is first into stage, followed by Paul Brander, first to be in full stage. Well, that's Malmgren again. Brander follows him in on the green. Whoa, nothing to choose. Down the racetrack, Mike Malmgren has the advantage. Holds on to it at the finish line.
How was the run?
Very good, very good. He tried to play us a game on the starting line when Michael was right there, so it was perfect run. The car left the line okay, so we figured out the gremlin we had all year last night, so now we're in the game again.
Let's take a look at the table, the way it looks now into the semi-finals. Malmgren and Nystrom, Lina and Connolly.
Now Top Fuel and Barry Schiebels and Jens Nebo are dicing it for the lead of the championship. But last night during qualifying, Barry Schiebels had big problems.
The first qualifying session, and our man Barry Schiebels for Britain being pushed away from the start line, the Magneto having failed on the car, and to make matters worse for Barry, there goes Jens Nebo on a devastating 5.04 qualifier. Certainly a great run for him. In the next session, Barry qualified, broke the tyres loose at half track, qualified #5, and then to make matters worse, the clouds started closing in.
Well, there's obviously a rain at the moment, and puts us in a bit of an awkward spot because we're #5 qualifier, and Monica Oberg is back out there to do another qualifying run. But if it stays a rain out, then obviously we're going to run a 4-car field. It means we're #5 and we'll be out of the competition, which is a major blow to us because obviously at the moment we're leading the competition.
Well, luckily the rain cleared. We had the spectacle of these fuel cars at night. Barry qualified at #2. On to race day, here we are, this is the first race. Pushing back our man Barry Schiebels, crew chief Rune Fjeld. And what news from the pits, Russ?
Well, I've been talking to Barry in the pits, Graham, and it's clear that his car has got a lot more power than this track can handle at the moment.
Well, he's up against it. Tommy Happinen, who qualified in at #5. Tommy has always been hard to get round.
That's very true, but I think Barry has always felt psychologically that he can beat Tommy, and at the end of the day, this is all about psychology on the line, so my money here is on Barry.
Well, go along with that, Russ. Here we go. Who's going to be first into pre-stage? Great Britain's Barry Schiebels in, followed by Tommy. Well, Schiebels stage first. Happinen in at the start line. Nothing to choose between them. And look at Happinen up in smoked. Luckily, Barry holds on to it.
How's the run?
It's okay. Smoked the tires a bit, but that's okay. We won, that's what matters.
All right, they won. That's what matters. Barry through to the semi-finals. This man, Pelle Lindelöw, racing the lady, Anita Michaela. Well, first time out for Pelle this year, a new car for him for 98. And he managed to qualify in the number 4 spot, but just ahead of him, ex-top alcohol racer Anita Michaela. And Anita is racing in last year's Peter Lance car, and Peter is the crew chief.
Well, obviously Peter was the man that prepared Kenta Pearson's car last year, which broke the European record, so from a car preparation point of view, you might be looking in the left lane.
Well, no lack of experience either with Pelle Lindelöw, Gary Bergin, the crew chief. And what you could see there, Russ, that was raw fuel going past the ignition system. These cars don't use all the fuel until they're on the run. Lindelöw into pre-stage. Anita follows him in. Here we go, into stage. Lindelöw, followed by Anita Michaela on the green. Anita Michaela with a little wheelie, and she has the advantage and after takes the win. On to our next race. Once a year, Monica Oberg brings out the top fuel car and takes part at Mantorp. She's racing number 1 qualifier, Jens Nebo.
And as we saw earlier, he put in a 5.04 during qualifying, much quicker than anybody else. And when I saw him in the pits, he was also seeming much more confident than anybody else. So again, I'd be looking in that left lane.
Well, I'll go along with that one, but Monica has been around top fuel drag racing for quite a number of years. Well, as long as I can remember. But Jens is a very cool customer indeed. Well, Denmark plays Sweden, and you can see the heavy concentration on Jens's face. For a man usually so happy, this is the tensest time in any drag race. He goes into stage first, followed shortly after by Monica on the green. Well, Jens Nebo looked to be away first, but look at this, the lady goes by. Well, that's a major, major upset. Number 2 man in the championship is out. Well, this is the semi-finals. Barry Sheevels and Anita Michaela, Monica Oberg on a bye.
Make sure you join us after the break.